Hi there, welcome to this week's Coaching Minute. So let's talk a little bit about the direct report you have that is demanding a seat at the table or wanting to be read in and involved in decisions which they're really not qualified to weigh in on. Nothing against them, but it just would not be appropriate. But this is something that they're demanding. Another little trend is people who maybe your direct reports who say they don't honor the hierarchy. They don't acknowledge the hierarchy. And so perhaps they're going several levels above their level and above you to run their ideas past the C-suite or talking directly to your peers or overtly saying no to your boundaries or your directives. So I think what's happening here, and like I said, it is a trend, that some people are taking advantage of the fact that we have a more inclusive and well-rounded workforce. That is absolutely our goal, to not focus on the hierarchy. And the other element that adds to this is that our culture loves an ambitious person. And so sometimes we look the other way with behavior that is pretty self-centered and not really with the pure intention of the goal of the company or the values of the company. And so I think this gray area is being worked a little bit by some overly ambitious people who don't necessarily want to do the work to rise, right? Don't want to pay their dues, which is a term that we don't even use anymore, right? Because it's so controversial. Here's the thing about being a leader, that your bottom line directive is to get results, to lead people, to have a cohesive team, to nurture the culture of your team. And if there is a person who is not respecting that culture and who is not respecting your boundary as a leader, your authority, because you do have authority, then it's up to you to address it. And I know that it can be very difficult because we don't want to operate from ego, but this isn't operating from ego. This is looking at the pure intention of the person who is trying to derail or willing to derail the culture of your team in order to have gains for themselves. So they really do believe in the hierarchy because they are trying to rise, but they are trying to shortcut that rise. And so this is a very individual thing, but it is a trend that I am seeing in the corporate world. And sometimes instead of, as Kim Scott, who wrote Radical Candor, she talks about ruinous empathy. Sometimes we care so much that we're not willing to call people out on their stuff. And so if you have to talk to the C-suite, or you are the C-suite, or you have to talk to your peers and kind of put this person in check, do that, because bottom line, you have a job to do, and this person is trying to derail that focus. Good luck.